You are planning to travel to Russia and you want this to be a unique experience? You know, sometimes knowing just a few words can completely unlock the situation and bring you to live an unexpected journey. Once I have met one tourist who, just because he knew a few Russian words, managed to make a friend at the bus stop. And later, he was even invited to spend a weekend in a dacha in a deep Russian countryside. Don't ask me how this happened, but believe me when I'm telling you that knowing just a few Russian words can completely change your experience. Привет, студенты! I'm Polina from Learn Russian Daily, and in this video I'm going to teach you phrases that you will need if you want to travel, to get around, to ask for help, and I will even include a few phrases that you could use to open a friendly conversation with the Russian you have a crush on. So stay with me up until the end if it interests you. Throughout the video, you can take some notes, but if you want to save time, if you just want to enjoy the video, I have gathered all these phrases in a PDF which you can download for free with the link in the description. First thing first, of course, greetings. You need to know how to say hello to people. So the first word is a bit intimidating, so be ready. Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. That simply means hello, and yes, I know that it sounds a bit complicated, so let's break it down. I will say it slowly. Здравствуйте. 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 A lot of tourists might be tempted to say привет in such situations because it sounds simpler and it literally means hi, but you better try avoiding saying привет to people you don't know because it sounds a bit too informal. If you really can't say здравствуйте, then you better use доброе утро for good morning. Доброе утро. Доброе утро. Добрый день for good afternoon. Добрый день. Добрый день. And добрый вечер for good evening. Добрый вечер. Добрый вечер. Of course, just like in English, there is many ways to say hello in Russian, but these are pretty much enough to cover you in all possible situations. Now, as we have seen how to say hello in Russian, when you, let's say, finish the interaction with someone, to avoid leaving without a word, say до свидания. До свидания. До свидания is what you need to say goodbye in Russian. Great! We covered greetings, and right now I'm going to teach you a kind of a magic Russian word. This word is mozhno. 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 Literally, this word means may I or is it possible? But it's so much more than just that. Russians use this word constantly, and this word can be used in almost all situations. And especially when tourists use this word, this immediately shows respect and understanding of the local culture. Picture this situation. You want to know if you can sit here or there, just point at the chair and say mozhno. You want to try on a hat you found in a store and just hold it up and say mozhno. Or in the street, you want to take a picture, or you want someone to take a picture of you, just point at the camera and say mozhno, mozhno, mozhno. You see, you can use it literally in all possible situations. That's why I call this word a magic Russian word. But Be careful using this word, because Russians just risk being impressed by your sense of politeness, by your respect towards them, and understanding local culture, that they might immediately melt and stop seeing you as another demanding tourist. All right, now let's see a few manners. Probably you already know, or at least heard, the word for thank you in Russian. Спасибо. Спасибо. And you might have noticed that the last O in this word sounds rather like ah. You're probably wondering why. Well, this is due to a phonetic rule named vowel reduction. It's because when O is in an unstressed position, it sounds and it reduces to an R-like sound. So O becomes R in an unstressed position. And when O is stressed, then it sounds like simple O. So in the word спасибо, the stress falls on E. Спасибо. Спасибо. That's why the last O sounds like R. What am I hearing? Somebody is asking, but how do we recognize where we should put the stress in a word? Well, you won't like the answer. The stress in Russian words is pretty flexible. It can fall on any syllable. This is something that you master rather with just a lot of practice. You remember where to put the stress in words. The thing is that there is no specific rule for stress in Russian words. It's pretty flexible and unpredictable, and it can fall on any syllable. So for that, there is no system. And that's something that you can master by rather just listening a lot to the Russian speech and to the way they pronounce words. But the good point is that it never changes. So once you know where to put the stress in the word, it will stay the same, no matter the position in the sentence of this word, no matter the context or whatever else. So enough with this little grammar intensive. Let's move on. So if somebody really helps you and you want to say thank you so much, thanks a lot, say большое спасибо. Большое спасибо. Большое спасибо. Literally, that means big thank you. And I can tell you 150% that hearing a tourist saying большое спасибо will melt the heart of any Russian. That's for sure. And if someone says большое спасибо to you, to say you're welcome, say пожалуйста. 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 Or if you want to sound a bit more relaxed, a bit more informal, you can say не за что. Не за что. Не за что. That means that's nothing, no problem. By the way, пожалуйста means not only you're welcome, but also please. Now let's see how to ask for directions. And I think that's probably something that you will actually need. Imagine you're walking the street, it's maybe rainy, maybe it's cold, maybe you just don't want to take out your phone and you're a bit lost, and you decide to ask a stranger, где метро? Где метро? Where is the subway? Clear, short, effective. Где метро? Just 2 words. But you can make it better. Say, извините, где метро? Извините, где метро? This adds a polite excuse me in the beginning. And trust me, this tiny word извините will make people more likely to help you. Извините, где метро? Excuse me, where's the metro? Of course, it doesn't work just with the subway. You can ask whatever you want. Где туалет? Where's the toilet? Где музей? Where is the museum? Где вокзал? Where is the train station? Now, what if you are hungry? Let's talk about ordering food. And first word you need is menu. And that's super easy. Menu. Yeah, just like in English. Menu, menu. So you can say «Можно меню, пожалуйста». «Можно меню, пожалуйста». May I have the menu, please? You see how we're using this magic word «можно» again. I told you it was powerful. In most of Russian restaurants, there are pictures of dishes in the menu. So if you want to order something but you don't know how to call it, you can just point at it in the menu and say, «Это, пожалуйста». «Это, пожалуйста». This one, please. Or you can also say, «Я буду это». «Я буду это». I will have this one. Honestly, just being polite and saying «пожалуйста» is already a huge win. Now, let's look at asking for help. Because, well, we never know. If you really need help, say «помогите, пожалуйста». «Помогите, пожалуйста». Help me, please. This will convey a sense of emergency. So if there are people around you, they will most likely come to help you. But if it's not an emergency, but you need some assistance, like figuring out your bus ticket or whatever, you can say «Можете помочь». «Можете помочь». Can you help me? You see, that's not difficult to say, that's short, and even if your pronunciation is not perfect, people will still understand what you're trying to say. And then you can easily ask if they speak English, and most likely you will find someone who understands you. Now, as we've covered all the basic sentences you might need as a tourist in Russia, as promised, let's cover a few phrases for more romantic situations. That would be a shame, meeting your soulmate and not be able to talk to him or her simply because you don't know how to start a conversation in Russian, right? So imagine you meet someone cute at a bar or on a train, in a museum, anywhere, and you want to start a little friendly conversation. Say, «Здравствуйте», «Добрый день», «Меня зовут», my name is, «Меня зовут», and then your name. Then say, «Я из», and then the name of your country. I'm from, «Я из». For example, «Меня зовут Майк», «Я из Америки». «Меня зовут Майк», «Я из Америки». My name is Mike, I'm from the United States. Or, «Меня зовут Даниэла», «Я из Бразилии». «Меня зовут Даниэла», «Я из Бразилии». My name is Daniela and I'm from Brazil. You get it, right? That's casual, that's simple but friendly. And if you want to compliment someone, if you're complimenting a man, say «Ты очень красивый». «Ты очень красивый». And if you compliment a woman, say «Ты очень красивая». «Ты очень красивая». You don't need to go further than that. Just a casual conversation, just a smile, just a little compliment, and that already is enough to melt someone's heart. But if a person wants to continue the conversation, you can ask for a number. Say, «Можно ваш номер телефона?» Можно, again that magic word, можно ваш номер телефона? Can I have your phone number? That's straight to the point, yet is polite. And that's it. Now you're prepared to be a tourist in Russia. This might not be a lot, but believe me, in a good situation, knowing just a few words in Russian can open a lot of doors and change completely your experience and journey. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel not to miss a new video. And don't forget to grab a free PDF with all the phrases from this video. Link in the description. I will see you in our next lesson. Пока-пока!